What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve and this is Tech Teardown. Now today in this video we're going to be retesting an old graphics card from AMD, the R9 380. And this graphics card that I have on hand is the Gigabyte Windforce OC edition. This graphics card was lent to me by my friend Morgan. You may remember in a previous video several months ago where I upgraded his PC to help him with music production and light gaming. And this graphics card is the one he upgraded from. So he let me borrow it so I could retest it and see how it performs here in 2019. Now before I get into all the testing and a little bit of things about this graphics card, I want to let you know that today is the day I'm going to be doing my monthly Steam key giveaway for the month of August. And I did a poll on Twitter where I asked which game they wanted me to give away out of the keys that I had available. In that poll I had Civilization 5, Rime, and Call of Duty 2, and Payday 2. And I only got 3 votes on that poll, and out of the 3 votes, 2 people voted for Call of Duty 2 and there was 1 vote for Rime. If you guys want to voice your opinion for next month's giveaway, make sure you follow me on Twitter at TechTeardownYT. It's a great way to contact me if you ever have any questions or tech-related questions or just want to chat tech. I'm always on Twitter and I'm ready to communicate and help you with anything you need. Remember, follow us on Twitter if you want to do that. So starting off for that Call of Duty 2 Steam Key giveaway, these are your first 5 numbers, and throughout the video I will be giving out the next 5 numbers for you guys to pick up. And so make sure you have your Steam open, your pens and paper ready, and the first one to grab the Steam key is the winner. There's only one winner each month and it's the first come first serve. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss each month's giveaway and you want to be the first one to snag that key, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you have a chance to be the first one in the video and take that key. Alright, so moving on to today's content. The R9 380 came out in June of 2015, along with several other graphics cards from AMD, like the 380X, which is just a same card but with higher bandwidths. This one has a 990 megahertz base clock, 1792 stream processors, 4 gigabytes of GDDR5, and a 256 megabit memory interface. Now before I started testing this card, I did notice when I had first plugged in that it was running really hot just on idle. So I took it apart and repasted everything, and lo and behold, unfortunately it still ran really hot on idle, over 50 degrees Celsius on idle temperatures. But luckily, even in gaming, even when it's boosting up, it doesn't get much higher than that in gaming. Maximum temperatures are in the 70s, which are manageable, but it's still really hot, and I wish it could be a little bit better than that. So I tested several games for you guys, and when I do these tests on older graphics cards, I adjust the settings to get at least 60 frames per second. So all the games have just a customized graphics settings to try and get the optimal performance out of these old graphics cards to see how close they are to end of life. Now there are some caveats that I'm going to go over after the benchmarks run. I will go ahead and run those benchmarks and then I'll come back on top, go over everything that I've learned while testing this graphics card, and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, guys, as you can see, the R9 380 still is a viable option for you in 2019. Now, this is, I would say, if you already have an R9 380, it's still probably a good card and working for you with your gaming and in these new AAA titles. But if you're looking for a budget graphics card, this card is going around average. Buy it now for $75 on eBay. And I would say I would never pay more than $50 for this graphics card. And that's if I'm really in a pinch, I really need something cheap to get me by until I can afford a better graphics card. Because of the high temperatures and because of it being an older graphics card, with the RX 470s, 570s, 480s, and 580s, getting below the $100 mark a lot of times on eBay, I would say the R9 380 is a big pass for me, just because I could save just an extra 50 bucks and go ahead and pick up one of those graphics cards. Now, this graphics card doesn't have a lot of power consumption to it, which is a plus, where it was recommended to have it a minimum 500 watt power supply, which is not too terrible. I did not measure power consumption on the graphics card. If that's something you guys want me to figure out and try to test in future videos on these older graphics cards, let me know down in the comments. So I'll definitely try to get that type of testing done for you. Some things I need to mention. So you probably noticed that in the Division 2, it was tested with low settings over 100 FPS a lot of times in my testing. And I should let you know that was my only good run with DirectX 12. So DirectX 11 would work, and DirectX 12 just would not work over low settings. So I had to run DirectX 12 on low settings to get any benchmarks, and DirectX 11 was the only way I could get medium to run, and that was around 60 frames per second. So I thought running low was pretty good, a much more playable experience, because the 1% lows on the DirectX 11 medium settings were just god-awful. So I would recommend DirectX 12 with low settings, but for some reason my computer crashes if I'm trying to run DirectX 12 on this graphics card. Any other game though, I didn't have any issues. I tested Hitman 2 on DirectX 12 and DirectX 11, and I don't remember the differences in those testings, but I didn't have any issues with DirectX 12 in other games. But with the Division 2, it kept crashing and would not let me test DirectX 12 over the low settings. So those were the best results I could get for you guys in my testing. And according to MSI Afterburner, it never got even loaded into the benchmark. So it never went over 56C, so it wasn't doing any thermal shutdown in that game, so I'm not really sure exactly what was causing the crash, but it really only crashed during DirectX 12. I had the latest drivers, downloaded them right before I started testing, and they're the latest drivers on AMD's website. But that's pretty much the only thing I really had major issues with on this graphics card. I don't know how many times I went back in, tried to adjust settings, try and get a good benchmark for you. But I thought with DirectX 12 low settings, getting over 100 FPS most of the time in that benchmark, that offered playable experience. So I think that is a good option, not going up to the medium settings, because it wasn't that much of a difference in my eyes between low and medium. And it had anti-aliasing on medium during that as well on the low settings. Games like Rainbow Six Siege have always proven to be a really easy title for these older graphics cards to run. Pretty sure the R9 380 came out around the time that Rainbow Six Siege came out. So that is probably one of the reasons why the R9 380 still did really well in that title. Far Cry 5 was probably more of a struggle for that game. But I think the R9 380 is still a good graphics card here in 2019. If you're on a budget, not ready to upgrade, I think you're fine with what you have right now. If you're looking for a new graphics card or something used to get you by until you can afford something better, I would probably try to look for something different. Like an RX 470 would probably be the one I'd save up for. I even had luck getting an RX 480 around $80. So an RX 470 probably can get around that price. So save just a little bit extra money. Because these R9 380s, like I said, are going on average $75. Buy it now. With ones that have where you can make an offer, you could probably get them down to about $50 or hopefully even less. Like I said, I wouldn't pay more than $50 for this R9 380 anymore. Let me guys know what you thought of the performance of the R9 380 here in 2019. It's a 4-year-old graphics card, so definitely not the oldest graphics card I've tested on this channel, but I do have an older graphics card that I have lined up coming up in the future that I'm looking forward to testing and see what you guys think of that performance. But remember to let me know what games you want to see in my monthly Steam key giveaways. Let me know down in the comments if you were the lucky winner to get this Steam key, so everyone knows to stop looking for the key, because that would be awesome of you if you were the first one to grab that. Alright guys, so if you've made it this far, I want to thank you so much for all your time watching this video. And if you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, let me know down in the comments what I did wrong so I can fix it in the future and make the content much better next time. Alright, so if you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button and the bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video.